No, baby, that's for somebody else. We're just going to keep you right where you're at right now.
It doesn't matter what you think.
The Wrestling Realm presents Break It Down with Brian H.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this episode of Break It Down with Brian H. Keeping it 100. I'm your host, Brian H. Waters. This show, of course, is brought to you by the Wrestling Realm. So, first and foremost, I want to thank each and everybody out there for all your ongoing support. I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Now, I decided I was sitting around and I've been busy all week. Y'all may have seen on the Instagrams, on the Facebooks, on the Twitter sphere that I've been busy. But yeah, I've been real busy doing some things. I attended my first Survivor Series. Y'all know I am the producer of the Mac Mania podcast, brought to you by the Ringer Wrestling Network. So you catch me over there. And so I got a chance to go to Survivor Series as what a treat, we'll talk about that because there's definitely some things happen that I want to talk about. Before we get into that, want to let y'all know that you can follow me on social media at all social media platforms. That's Brian H. Waters. Of course, you can follow the Wrestling Realm. Go to our fan page, on Twitter, Facebook, it's Wrestling Realm, Twitter, Instagram at Wrestling Realm. And of course, if you ain't done that yet, go ahead, hit the subscribe button right here. And y'all, we got merch. You see this shirt, the Wrestling Realm Now podcast tee. It's available on Wrestling Realm Now, WrestlingRealm.com. It's real simple. It's the name of the show.com. We also got these coffee mugs right here. I got me a Wrestling Realm Now mug. I could have got it in white, could have got it in black. I said, I want it in red. I got the regular Wrestling Realm in white. So I said, let's get this one in red. So definitely appreciate y'all. Already been some purchases. Thank you to everybody who's went out there and bought a t-shirt. Go ahead, wear it, put it on your social media. Shout out to my big bro Terrence. He picked up the Wrestler for the Culture t-shirt as soon as it dropped. Terrence has been somebody who's been supporting the brand. Sorry about that echo. Been supporting the brand since day one. We met at the 4-letter. So shout out to him. Shout out to my best friend Trika. She purchased the Wrestler for the Culture t-shirt. I sent her the link as soon as it went live. I sent it like 12 in the morning. And she goes, oh, yeah, I got you. So shout out to everybody who's doing that. I titled this Thankful for Wrestling, folks. And y'all may see, like, well, you love wrestling, whatever. I'm thankful because, as I said at the top of the show, I got a chance to do some things this past weekend never dreamed of. Getting a chance to go to Survivor Series, get a chance to produce. But one of the things that really stuck out outside of work was the opportunity to connect with so many people that I've only seen on the YouTubes, on, the programs doing virtual interviews, Sir Wilkins. And, finally, we met at ROH, but, getting a chance to really chill as during the panel at Jobberslam, I appreciate that. Me and him had only met through a coffee talk before that. And, shout out to Trey D from We Love Wrestling. I didn't get a chance to see him there, but we got a chance to talk during one of his programs that he put together, talking about mental health, right? He put me, Trey D, and shout out to the newly married Stephen Wolf. Congratulations to him and Hayan on their marriage. Gotta say that. So much been going on since I last been here, right? But I'm gonna throw this picture up here. Like I said, thankful for wrestling, right? So many people in this photo that I'm grateful for. I'm gonna try to get everybody. I'm gonna miss some people, but you got the two of the headliners, those wrestling girls, Queen PR and Krista B. You have obviously the Jobbeteers, Mr. Black. I mentioned Sir Wilkins, and last but certainly not least, the lady who keeps everything together, Miss Janelle from HR. Just getting an opportunity. She's somebody else I met at ROH for the first time. Getting that opportunity to meet her and talk to her, and I'm excited about the things that they're doing. And in the back, you'll see me But you also have the Black Wrestling Podcast. Y'all know they cut up in here every year for Wrestling for the Culture. What an amazing time we've had. And now, being able, I've seen Massive Fam on numerous occasions, but getting to see Cal and Drip, that was a pleasure. I also got to see Eve and Chrissy from the Black Announce Table podcast. You talk about, just two great people. Funny story, as I was leaving, I'm sitting there trying to figure out, all right, I'm in New York City. I don't know which way I'm going. And they could have just said, all right, we ain't in the mix no more. But, they made sure they helped guide me. That's the type of stuff you appreciate. You amongst family. Pretty Hills was in the building. Blue and Jenna from the Mixed Tag Show was in the building. Finally getting a chance to meet them in person. If y'all saw, I don't know if you listened to, you should have by now. On the Mixed Tag Show, Jenna declared the war is over. You had the Your Sports Show. I think I got that right. They was in the building. They told me, they said, look, we had Ashley Baker. We had Kelsey. Now we got to get you on the show. The Your Sports Show, so being able to finally meet them. The Illis Rican, I don't know if he's in the picture, but he was in the building. Of course, my brother Corey, my kicks are my fix. The guy who I go to when I need, my belts. Now I need to make sure it's verified, authenticated. Him and my big brother Brandon, those are the two people, because nobody I know got more belts than them. So, it's always great catching up with Corey. But, like I said, an esteemed panel discussion they had, and I'm going to pull this up and make sure, they had Billy Dixon. They had Ref Nick Shin, NYC Demon Issa. I hope I said that right. Or Isa, I apologize. Peter Rosario was in the building. Just a wonderful, and then obviously Miss Queen PR, Sir Wilkins, Janelle from HR, they was also on the panel. Just a wonderful time. And that's one of the things I'm just thankful for. That opportunity to be able to get to meet these people, to get to meet people like-minded. I tweeted this. I've said this before. Some say I say it too much. But where were y'all when I was in high school, middle school, when I had this love for wrestling? I'm 35 years old, but guess what? Delay is not denial. Better late than never. I always said, I was always say to Corey and Dwayne, and shout out to the third member of the Wrestling Realm, the guy who does a lot of behind the scenes work, my big bro, Hugh Scott, that, well, me and Hugh was obviously together in middle school. We've been boys since, but those high school years, I'm like, where were y'all? We was all together one time this summer. I said, where were y'all? We should have all been together, because then we would have been able to, have enjoy wrestling in peace. But then I got to give a shout out to, I'm a kind of break the fourth wall here, but a shout out to my guy Evan Mack of the Mac Mania podcast, who gifted me with the NWO championship. Shout out to him, him, Jack Farmer, and Flobo Boyce. Those guys, every Tuesday, make sure y'all check it out. We put a lot of hard work onto that show, so make sure you check it out on the Ring of Wrestling Network. You also got Cheap Pete over there with Peter Rosenberg, Stat Guy Greg, and Dip. You also have Kaz, and of course David Shoemaker of the Masked Man show. So make sure y'all check those shows out as well. There's a lot of good wrestling content out here. Like I said, mention all the shows. In the absence, I gotta give a mention to another one of my other brothers, Two Champs from the Big Gold Belt podcast. All the stuff that they're doing. This wrestling community is just something I'm really grateful for, folks. To step out of the podcaster world and to go into the business side, or behind the scenes. I'm gonna give a shout out. I mentioned, obviously, y'all know I'm always gonna give a shout out to my big brother, the real Dwayne Allen, my bro Hugh, my brother Brandon. These guys, keep me grounded each and every week. But then also, going over to, some of what I got to do, a lot of behind the scenes work. and build up the resume. Shout out to my boy Blake. You know, he just dropped a new photo of me. You know, he's been getting busy in the lab. So shout out to him. Make sure you check him out at It's Blizz. And then shout out to my client, the one who I serve as special advisor for, Amber Rodriguez. You know, check out all the work she's doing. You know, we've been collaborating on a lot of stuff. And, you know, she's also got t-shirts on sale this weekend on half off. So make sure y'all check her out. But you know, even with her getting an opportunity to work, we did a lot of promos, shoot pictures and videos, and you talk about just a good time, you know. So I you know, I appreciate all the work that I've been able to do. This has just been a blessing. I never thought last year, you know, I've said it, last year's Thanksgiving was very rough. I had to cook. My mother had COVID. My wife had COVID. My dad had COVID. And it was a rough time. Little did I know, you know, I would be the next year I would be working in wrestling full time, you know. And that's what I'm grateful for. You know, just being able to and sorry, I'm texting because you know, social media manager job's never over to do here. But you know, little did I know that the following year I would be working in wrestling, full time podcast, you know, and that's what I'm grateful for. So you know, I'm grateful for all you listeners out there who taking the time to download the show, to buy the merch, yeah, to sit back and engage on social media. And you say, why would you do a show thankful? You know, well, I was always taught, you know, somebody do something nice, you say thank you. In some cases, right? Thank you, no. Well, you guys get content. So yeah, I know it's been 12 minutes. So what? I'm grateful. So like I said, it's been like some of the best times right now in life. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. Yeah. But you know, let's talk about the WWE because there's actually some things I'm thankful for. Um Roman Reigns, folks. Roman Reigns is, you know, he's doing some of the best work. And that match with him and Big E at Survivor Series, some people liked it, some people didn't. Oh my gosh! Before I get there, my boy Justin Manning. How could I forget Justin Manning? Shout out to him. You know, took me to the Nets game when I was in Brooklyn. Um, and shout out to my boy Jazz Johnson and then my boy James. You know, just showing me around. I'm sorry. Wow, I almost forgot that. But yeah, so I appreciate everybody. Anybody I forget, charge it to the head, not the heart. But I look at what's going on with WWE, and I know a lot of people, you know, they may not be feeling it. I understand a lot of the releases happen, and that's, you know, it's understandable. You know, people are upset. I'm not going to comment on that because I don't know all the specifics. I will say, if you love the wrestler and you hate the fact they got released, support them wherever they go. I'm a huge Daniel Bryan fan. I will always support him where he is because of that. You know, I will continue. All right. I will continue to support him in AEW. But with Roman Reigns right now, he's just, man, I was like, wow, this dude is really my favorite wrestler currently. And I remember, shout out to my boy Kahar, he'll tell you, WrestleMania 31. Oh man, we were going back and forth. I was like, man, Kahar Roman's not it. This, that, and the other. And it does make you wonder: do we appreciate, for those that do we appreciate this version of Roman Reigns because of what we got before, or is it that we appreciate him now because this is what we would have appreciated him regardless. Either way, this works. Like I said, he's putting on some of the best work he's ever done And I'm interested to see. I don't want to see him lose the title no time soon. No time soon. I don't want to see him lose. Excuse me. I think he's the man. He's somebody that you obviously you build a company around. But there's no reason you should take the title off of. There's nobody to me on his level in this business. In the business, folks. Sure, you could, the only way I see if you had a year-long deal with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and you say, okay, Rock, you're going to take the title from him, and you put it back, whatever. That's the only way. But nobody's taking a title from Roman Reigns. No, sir. But I want to get to Big E because I think Big E's been doing a phenomenal job with the championship. I know a lot of people feel otherwise, but I feel like Big E's been doing a great job. And I'm recording right before SmackDown, so I don't. But I think he's been doing a great job. And the way Raw is being stacked, Big E's going to have a set of opponents. And he's either going to beat all of them or he's going to come up short and find himself in the chase. And it's going to be fun to watch. So you see what Seth Rollins is doing. Seth Rollins is on top of his game. I mean, he's, to me, finally got back as from a person who was a huge fan of what he was in 2015. He's finally gotten back to that part. It took a while. And we're talking, he comes back in 2017, really wasn't feeling it. It was like, okay, then, and then when he beat Brock, it was like, I was happy he beat Brock, but still, I think Seth Rollins just works better. And I think he'll be a good baby face when the time comes when he faces when he's on that edge level, right? He's putting over the next superstar. But I think with Rollins, I think he's firing on all cylinders. He's delivering each and every week. And when him and Big E clash, it could go either way, and that's what's going to be fun. You got Kevin Owens, who's a wild card. Finn Balor, I thought Monday night, even though Rollins beat him down, to me it made sense, and Rollins got into the other dimension of his character. So those are the things that I'm looking forward to as we move forth into Royal Rumble season. Right now, I think the Royal Rumble's wide open, but I think no matter what, SmackDown won it the winner faced Roman last year. So I'm interested to see who the winner chooses this year. So we'll see. As far as the women's concerned, I don't know if y'all had a chance to listen to Bianca Belair on the Cheap Heat podcast, but one of the things she talked about was the fact that, she okay not being in the title picture right now. And everybody will tell you now's the time where she gets to make dewdrop. And this is what's going to be fun to see this feud because you have a feud that's not for the title. And me and the real Dwayne Allen talked about that earlier this year on the Wrestling Realm Now podcast. When you have a feud that's not for the title, it does make things interesting. So I'm interested to see what happens with her. I'm also interested to see how, excuse me, what happens, who's up next for Charlotte Flair, right? You got new tag team champions with Zelina Vega and Carmella. And I know they're on Raw. I want to see if they're going to go back and forth. You got Sasha and on SmackDown, you have Sasha and Shotzi going back and forth. I could see a situation where Shotzi becomes the number one contender. And I really think Sasha could win the Royal Rumble. In fact, if I'm booking now, I give Sasha the moment. She wins the Royal Rumble. We get Sasha and Charlotte at WrestleMania. And I know people are saying we've seen that already, but guess what? It works. It works. You get that match. That's the big money match. But it's also two marquee people, right? When you look at the history of WrestleMania, there's just matches that you could say you've had. Stone Cold versus The Rock. Andre versus Hogan. Macho Man versus Hogan. Ultimate Warrior versus Hogan. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels. Stone Cold and Bret Hart. John Cena versus Triple H. Triple H versus Randy Orton. John Cena versus Batista. These are the matches that you could say you've had. Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. Now, you could add Charlotte Flair versus Sasha Banks to the WrestleMania history book. Now is the time. I'd have Sasha win the Royal Rumble, and she would go over to WrestleMania, and boom, folks, she finally gets her WrestleMania moment. That's how Brian H. would do it. But I'm not a wrestling booker, but it's just something that just, came to mind. As far as Becky Lynch is concerned, I'm really interested to see if Liv Morgan can keep up. That's what I'm interested to see. We'll find out. Let's move on. Let's talk about AEW before we get out of here. I'm going to give a special shout out to Queen K Wrestling, because Kiki has been constantly, well, number one, shout out to her. She's the biggest AEW fan. It is a goal to set up something and get her on the show, not to go back and forth, but literally to talk AEW with her. That's something I want to do because I highly respect her AEW intellect. With that being said, y'all got your champion. I've been loud and saying I didn't see Adam Page being the guy. But guess what? I'm tuning in every week. I'm watching. And I'm not one of the people that's waiting for him to fail. Because I don't. Because even though, like I said, I'm loud, I'm a WWE fan, there's an AEW TNT title over there because I do love that brand too. So with that being said, I want to see. I'm interested to see how him and Bryan Danielson gonna go. How is this gonna play out? They got me hooked. They got me interested. This is what they're supposed to do. And then you got CM Punk and MJF going back and forth on the microphone. Some people say MJF got him. I'll let y'all decide. But I tell you this, they had me hooked. I was like, oh, okay. That's what wrestling's supposed to do, folks. You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. But I'm gonna get ready to get out of here because I get ready to watch SmackDown. I bought a case of Junior's cheesecake, brought it back home. So I'm gonna eat some of that with my daughter and get ready for SmackDown. But shout out to everybody. Like I said, appreciate y'all. Wrestling is something I am thankful for in this year of 2021. And I'm very excited to see what happens in 2022 as we move forward. I know somebody just got on me about my accent. But remember, folks, if you're watching right now, go to WrestlingRealm.com. You can get the shirts. They're premium t-shirts. They usually go for $30 because they're premiums, but they're on sale for $19.99. That's this shirt right here, the DX shirt you see me with, the DX style, I should say. If you want the Wrestling Realm, just the realm without the now, that's also available. Or if you want the OG logo and the Wrestling for the Culture t-shirt, and then one of the Real Dwayne Allen special, the wrestling, the Proud Wrestling Fan shirt, that is also for sale. So make sure y'all check that out. You can also get the coffee mugs. Until the next time, folks, I'm Brian H. Waters. Shout out to Hypnosis on the beat too, man. My little cousin. Shout out to him. I'll catch you next time. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Break It Down with Brian H. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell so you get notified every time the Wrestling Realm posts new content.